course, our boss, this is Joe Shufton, and I got Gary from Propane on the line. First of all, thank you for doing this, my friend.
Oh, thank you. How you doing?
Very, very excited about the 20-year anniversary of Propane. Congrats, because I know that's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thanks for the congratulations. It has been a very long time. And as you say, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, that went into this band from 1991 to the present day. So we're glad to still be around doing what we do.
And you have quite an amount of work, coming out. Like, you have, like, a whole DVD package, a whole CD package. Why don't you tell the people out there what they can expect?
Well, it's a CD and DVD package. It's called 20 Years of Hardcore. And we try to, cover the span of 20 years, which certainly isn't easy to do in one package. So we feature some new material. We feature some re-recorded versions of some Propane classics with some ex-band members of Propane. So kind of cool to have them aboard for this project. And we also have a lot of live stuff. We have a full concert from Czech Republic, from Brno, as part of the CD. So the CD totals a little bit over 78 minutes in length, and it comes with a free DVD, which has over 120 minutes worth of video, with a lot of live concert footage, some behind-the-scenes stuff, some archived footage from our old recording sessions, and even some footage from our first rehearsals with the band, which are really interesting. And it's just it has a lot of variety, and I think it's a real tremendous bang for the buck as far as value that we're going to offer to the fans on this package.
And as far as touring, are there any touring plans for the 20th anniversary, let's say, bash?
Yeah, we had a couple of tours already in Europe to celebrate the 20-year anniversary. We're going back to Europe to play Eastern Europe in October, and we hope to do some U.S. dates in December. So we have a lot on the plate, and the tours and all the tour dates are being booked as we speak. So it's been really busy around here.
Yeah, of course. And you were just mentioning how you went back into the studio with some of the original members of Propane. How was that experience?
Oh, it was awesome, and I was pleasantly surprised at how enthusiastic these guys were. We have J.C. Dwyer, who played drums for us for about 5 years. He played drums on 2 of the tracks, on Foul Taste of Freedom and Make War Not Love, on the 2011 versions of those songs. One of our ex-drummers, Mike Hansel, came out to play a couple of tracks with us. Rob Machete played some rhythm guitar on a couple of the tracks. And Eric Klinger joined us on one of the tracks on rhythm guitar. So we just wanted to show the fans that, Propane is and the 20 years of Propane is certainly more about the members of the current lineup. And, these other guys, they put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears as well. And we wanted to show a little bit of solidarity amongst the band members for our fans.
Right. And obviously, you said this 20 years of Propane, and you kind of calling the package 20 years of hardcore because you guys being from New York, obviously when you started, New York hardcore was basically a little baby, and now it's a huge, you know what I mean? It's a monster, worldwide phenomena. And
right.
And you were one of the first bands to combine heavy metal and hardcore. How did that happen?
Well, with Propane, it came as a result of my years with my original band. I had a New York hardcore band called Crumbsuckers.
Right.
And we released a couple of records on Combat Records in the 80s, and we were known as being one of the original crossover bands. So one of the original bands to sort of combine hardcore and metal and some other rock influences, if you will. And there weren't a lot of bands playing that kind of style at the time. I think just us and DRI and probably Corrosion of Conformity.
Right.
But it started a whole new scene, and I think bands like SOD, were heavily influenced by the bands that I just mentioned. And then crossover music kind of fell out of favor for a while, and people started to listen to more purist music. And I just continued my path as a crossover artist because I thought that true innovation in any kind of music these days lies within the hybrid or the crossover, and incorporating new styles and new influences. And I always felt that purist music, although it's very cool, it's only like sort of an homage to the past or some sort of nostalgic sort of sound. And I didn't want to really play that kind of style. I wanted to play something new and exciting.
And more aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. So Propane was the offspring of Crumbsuckers, and I continued the style. Propane definitely differed itself from Crumbsuckers. The arrangements weren't quite as erratic as with Crumbsuckers. Propane always had more commercial arrangements, but the aggression was about the same, maybe even more so with Propane, and the lyrics were still on point as far as talking about politics and things that had some sort of social value to them.
Right, no, absolutely. That definitely comes across with Propane. And what I like about you guys is that every record you've done, it's Propane. You have a signature sound, but it's always with a different taste. You never do the same record twice. And as you know, many bands these days kind of fall into that, I guess, a trend, and they just keep coming up with the same sort of material. And, I don't know if they're going to be able to say one day that they have 20 years under their belt.
Yeah, that's true. I think that certainly different bands are in the game for different reasons. And I never really started this band or started being a musician with the intention of playing in front of adoring fans and becoming some kind of rock guy on the stage. I just wanted to be in I loved hardcore music. I wanted to start a band because I loved the music and I loved the message of hardcore music. And so I didn't have any huge aspirations, and I really still don't. I still enjoy playing the music more than anything else. And if we can get some fans who identify with what's being said and they love the sound, that's even better. But I think there's a high percentage of bands out there, and there always has been, that their number one goal is to become rock stars. And so that comes with a lot of bad musical choices and just bad choices in general. And that's why a lot of those bands don't really, stick it out or last a decade or two.
Yeah, exactly. It's like kind of, it comes and goes. It's like, like any trend. You kind of hear it one day, and the next day you go into the next thing. But for us, we're older cats, and we really identify with the bands who have influenced us, whether it's as a fan, whether it's as a musician, that really kind of stand the test of time. For example, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, all these bands that are still, doing it so hard, and that, they're never going to go anywhere.
Right. I mean, the bands that have been doing it for at least a decade, that they have it in their heart, or else they wouldn't be around for that long. So it's it can be a very difficult business, especially when you're not a huge commercial success, but you still enjoy it enough to want to persevere and sort of make a living doing it. And it can be very trying at times, and it takes a lot of of personal investment and a lot of hard times, and you have to persevere through a lot of those hard times and try to make it happen and try to move on and try to continue, and there's a lot of bumps along the way that you have to go over, and it's not easy. But the bands that have been around for 10, 20 years, 30 years, I tip my hat to those guys. It's amazing.
Right, it's a lot of hard work, as we said before, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And Gary, if there's anybody out listening, whether it's a young kid who's getting into a band, what advice do you have for them?
Well, I would start by playing music that you truly enjoy, and not really pay attention to a lot of the trends that are out there, because a lot of the trends, they're over really quickly. And trendy music, although it tends to be the most popular music at any given moment, trends can be very short-lived. So for younger bands, I would say just stick to the music that you truly enjoy and music that you have that you can play with conviction and heart. And try to be smart about your choices in music and about your decisions. You know, it's very good to get to know the business of music as well. And aside from being a good musician, you have to know the business if you want to become successful at it. And you know, the business side of it really sucks. You know, it's an unfortunate side, but it's something that you really have to know. It's sort of a necessary evil. And you know, provided that you have good skills and that you're a good musician, you learn the music business, and you have like members in your band that share the same goals, you have a pretty good shot at doing something cool.
Gary, I want to thank you for your time, and when you come to New York City, I expect to be able to talk to you again. And you know, because
cool, man.
we always have their arms wide open for Propane. I mean, I've been a fan of you guys for a long time, and I'm very happy that you guys are still in the game, as you said before, 20 years and strong, you know, not like putting out a bullshit record here and there, and all your records have been solid. And I think it's because you have been the man behind, let's say, the Propane machine and like driving them to where you want to go.
Well, thank you very much for saying that, and I really appreciate the interview. Every little bit counts and helps, and we really appreciate all the support from you and all the fans out there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And anybody listening out there, make sure you pick up Propane 20 Years of Hardcore. And always, you know, Horns Up Rocks loves hardcore, loves metal, and always supports bands like Propane who do something different and unique.
Cheers, man. We'll see you guys on the road. Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you.